What's up, y'all? You are listening to For the Artists, a podcast brought to you by Creative M Projects. I'm your host, Melissa Sharee. Today, I will be speaking to a beautiful woman that I recently met at a wine festival. And I immediately, her work grabbed my attention. And I was like, I have to ask this woman if she will come onto the podcast. This woman's name is Isabel Lemus. I hope I said that right. It's so like, ooh la la. She was born and raised in Havana, Cuba, where she pursued a humanistic career. Her passion for wine corks has been with her since childhood. We'll have to get the scoop on that. A citizen of the world, as she describes herself, after having lived in Madrid, Spain, somewhere I've always wanted to go but haven't been yet, and now in the USA. For this emerging artist crafting her Afro vines, that's what she calls her three-dimensional figurines, which are amazing, is a way to connect with her culture and her identity. There's so many things I could say about her, but I don't want to say too much in the intro because then we can't ask her those questions as we have conversation. So welcome, Isabel.
And hello, Melissa. Thank you for having me here.
I love your whole, vibe and ambiance. It matches your artwork, which is right next to you.
Thank you so much. This is one of my first one. It's called Flora.
Flora, I was like, is Flora designed to be a version of you?
I don't think so, but I get that a lot, you know? I get that a lot.
Okay, because she's so beautiful and
Oh,
regal and and she's like strong and confident and basically you're giving me those same vibes. So I'm like, is that her?
thank you. Well, you know what? I have a passion for natural hair. I love the texture of our natural hair. And I love the grace of how we are able to accommodate and so creative that we are with uh, that hair that sometimes can be like impossible to manage, can look like that. So to me, Flora is like every time that I see a coral, I like it. There's so much mysterious in the coral. So that's what I wanted to do with Flora. I want to show all of those mysterious that I see in every coral of the natural hair, and that is what is Flora. It's Flora because Flora, Spanish, I don't know if English should be the same. Flora is like the nature, right?
Mm,
And
mhm.
the flora encompasses the tree, the flowers, all of that is our flora. So it's like a saying godness on itself. So that is what is flora. For me, every of each of these corks, they are going to bloom later. They are going to, you know, multiply. So I don't know. It's
Oh, that's awesome. Now, you know what? I collect corks, okay? And I never thought to actually make anything out of them. I literally just write a date and a memory on the cork and like put it in a jar. But I love that you thought to like actually make something that can be shared and passed on. How did you start doing this?
Well, this idea was sleeping. I always have been passionate about corks. I think like corks, they have a life on their own. It's like you have like a little piece of string in your hands. That's why you don't die. So there are people that they collect corks from for that so old, like for centuries. I have met collectors that they have corks from I don't know 19th century because they are so strong, and to me it's like and so mysterious. So I
Mhm.
have this idea for a year. I was sleeping there, and I wanted to create something for myself, like something that I could admire myself, maybe for my earrings. And then I have everything gathered. And it has a Cuban neighbor. She fled the island in the 60s. She's very creative, and she was always showing me um, her artwork. And one day I was like, this lady, she's 85, she's doing all of these things. I should one tell her about this idea that I still in the back of my head, and I haven't just done it. So I was like, next time she comes, I'm going to show her what I I had been thinking. So I was researching about some figures, women figures. I was like, but I want to do something with the cork. So I saw this silhouette, like, okay, let me see how it looks if I play the corks like this. So when she
Mhm.
came, she gave me the okay. And I was like, okay, to me, you're like my master. And you say that this works. And then I started showing that to my friends, and my friends were like, you know what, Isabel, you have something there. Try to do different fire styles, put them out there to see what is the outcome, how people receive them, what is the reaction. And I have to tell you that from day first, the reaction was amazing. People like it because cork, there are many cork artists out there. They do marvelous things. Every time that I see the work of any of them, it's like a wow. So I feel like we cork artists, we like corks in a very different way. You know, I like work with the cork in one position. There are people that like working with the cork in another position. But that was the wow to me. Like when I saw the reaction, it was me the first one that I like. So you need to like what you're doing to be able to, you know what I mean? But yes, that was the way. It was like I feel like I need also to bring back to my neighbor because she was always showing to me. I have this already in mind. You know, was it during the time of the pandemic? I started collecting my corks and like, what can I do? What can I do? And
Mhm.
then to me, it's like a paying tribute, as I say, to our beauty. The beauty is our hair. I think Black beauty is unique. We are specific features, and I really appreciate the outcome. I'm really thankful of that.
I already have a deeper appreciation. Like, I will never look at a cork the same way. I mean, I already collect corks, but now it's like you just open my eyes to a whole nother level of value and appreciation. I think that's what's really amazing about art and creativity. It's like the thing that makes you passionate about something,
Yep.
it makes it alive in a new and a different way for someone else.
Yeah. I also want to add, if that's possible, that this was I didn't I haven't been to art school. So I have never been taking art classes. When I was a teenager, I used to paint eggs, the shell of the eggs. I love doing that. So I somehow have been inclined to art. I study what they call philology. It's like the study of the language, you know. So you're very linguistic. I have to know how to know everything, the root about the language, Latin. I have to also study fine art. It's not that it was like a basic part of the career, but no, at that time I didn't consider myself an artist. So to me, this one, after when I started creating these Afro vines, because they come, I wanted to get something to Afro wines, but that name was already taken. So I was like, they're Afro vines, you know, they come from the vine and they are related to the African goddess, right? Like, what happened to me? Why I'm doing this? Why all of a sudden this is happening to me? I am don't even know how to paint. You know what I mean? My friends told me there are different kind of artists. Not every artist need to know how to paint. You know what I mean? Because sometimes we associate art with paint or sculpture, but there are different modalities. It also happens that maybe I think this is also was my way to heal. I lost my mom during the pandemic back in
Mm.
Havana, and at some point was like, what I'm doing this. So sometimes you don't know that connection that we have with the superior or with God, because the way that this has become or has developed, well, like I think it's something that has been sent. Even though I has my passion for court, I never thought that I would be able to create.
Mm.
So me is part of my therapy, is part of being thankful that I'm able to put these beauties in front of people and people have the opportunity to see, hey, we have been having material to create here next to us all the time. And we haven't been able to use it. We have been, wasting money. So that's also the message that I want to transmit with sometimes when I get some core donations, He said, you can also do it. I said, no, but you suppose that you're the one that is going to do it. I said, I don't want to have the monopoly on this. I just want you to know that if I am able to do it, you can also do it. You know what I mean? So
Mhm,
that's part
mhm.
of my sharing. You can also do it, Melissa.
You know what? I just might, Isabel.
There we
Oh
go.
my gosh. That's so beautiful. So
Thank
beautiful.
you.
Wow. Okay. So you didn't start doing this specifically until the pandemic, which was just a couple years ago.
No, I honestly, I started last year. I remember the date was August 15, 2022.
Mm,
So,
okay.
but I have been having everything for a year, but I just let it rest in the closet. And like one day became months, and those months became quarters, and the quarters became, half a year and almost a year when they said, okay, let me just do something. This lady is coming here to visit me every time with something that she created, and I still haven't. And you have to believe there is going to be a moment for everything. I study when I needed to study, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So that's how things go.
Okay. And so since that time, now you're out there. You're in the circuit. I mean, are you doing this full time or do you do something else?
Well, yes, I'm trying to get this as a full time as I can because I have an 8 years old, and that's like my full time job there. So whenever I find some space and he lets me do it, then I dedicate it to this. And I can tell you that in this year, my first exhibition, my first pop up event was in November last year. And I
Mhm.
remember I didn't know anything about that. What is a pop-up event? So it was by the city of Temecula. They were providing everything. You just need to be there with your artwork. But I didn't know what was a grid walls. I'm like, oh, what is this? And I just had like a 3 or 4 of my pieces. I was like, oh yes, it's okay. Then that was great. The first thing that was before attending that pop-up event, I visited some markets and I talked to some artists in in that market. If you don't mind.
Bless you. Salud.
Thank you. Gracias. There we go. And then they were giving me some ideas and many of them. I lost the how humble artists they are. They were artists and they told me when I started, I didn't even have the table, another table closed. I didn't have what you see here. I just started very like 2 or 3. And then this pop-up event that was by the with the city of Temecula in November, it was no fee. And I said, well, it's an opportunity for me to be out there. And then I remember I was swimming with lotus, professional swimmers. So all of these artists that they have been with their artwork for exhibiting their artwork for 2, 3+ years. And they told me, okay, you need this and this and this and this. And that's the advice I want to bring to any new artists out there. Uh, Even Google is a big company and they are changing every day. So that's the
Mm,
best way to do it is just jump into the water and you will get there and people is going to hug you because all of them study like us, having not even a table. And then that was my first event. People love it. Even worse, at the beginning, I was not even sure if I should exhibit it with a frame, without the frame. So the market is going to be there to educate you, to tell you, hey, and then you have to be able to listen to that market as well and try to keep your identity in that kind of silent conversation that you're going to be having with the market, right? The market tells you, hey, I like this frame, I don't like this frame, I like this side, I don't like this side. But say how you can accommodate your idea to what the market demands, I think like that is the kind of the key, right? So I have been doing a lot of pop-up events and I have been now also as well exhibiting at some art galleries. They are there. And at the beginning, you think like, oh my God, you are going to New York when you are going, one of these big galleries. No, they are there. They are waiting for you. They are eager to get new artists in their doors. Um, they also give you advices, people that has been in the business 20+ years. And I can tell you that all the feedback I have got is feedback about encouragement, and move forward. And I was like, oh my goodness, I like it. I can tell you as well that it's not going to be everything about production. I would love to be in my studio making these beautiful Afro vines, but no, I have to do the marketing. I have to research what is the pawpaw. I have to see. I have to learn to ask the right questions to see if that pawpaw is going to be a good fit for me. The fee, there is a fee, and I'm going to be able to afford that fee. You know, all those kind of things. I was totally out of the social media, and I had to jump into social media so people could know me. So it's a lot. Last time I came back to the studio, I felt like I haven't been in the studio for years. Like this is what I really like. This is what I really like, being here, because this is my therapy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then you have to be able to wear all those hats. You know what I mean? And like, oh no, sometimes you have to do the research. Okay, now where can I get the most affordable material with the quality? It's not like so you're going to be your own factory in just one person with 24 hours a day.
Yes. Isabel, I can relate.
Oh,
You are your own factory with only 24 hours in a day. And you're doing a fabulous job. Let me just give you your kudos right now.
thank you so much, Melissa. Thank you.
So, I want to know because another unique thing about you is that you're not from the States, is that you're from Cuba. So, you've been in the States for a while now,
Yeah, 10 years.
10 years. Okay. Do you ever miss Cuba? And what was that like living there?
Every day of my life, I miss Cuba.
Aw.
Yeah, that's my life. I left the island 2007. I went straight to Spain to study. I studied there, master in marketing, and I lived in Spain for almost 7 years, almost 6 years, sorry, almost 6 years until I came here to America in 2012. And I came here because, come on, which Cuba doesn't want to be in America? But not in Miami. I didn't want to be in Miami. Okay, not Miami.
I'm going there soon.
Okay.
But not to live, so I'm sure there's a difference.
You need to have your salsa ready, girl.
Yes, I will. Bye.
Okay. So, and I was like, you know what? If I want to grow a career, I think America is the place. Like I study marketing. I like the way the sense of business that is in America. That different, right? I need to try that. To me, America was the school for businesses, right? So I moved here to 2012. I met the person that is now my husband. My son was born here a year after I came here. So I came here for business. Which business is this one?
Personal business.
Yeah. I go into that business. And to me, both places has been a great step forward in my life, but always carry with me Cuba is in me 90%. So I always, every day, I have my contact with my Cuban friends all over the world. We are all over the world. My family, I have just my sister left in Havana. Every day I talk to her. I visit still the island. I visit the island almost every year. And when I'm there, I feel at home. I feel like despite every limitation that we have, I also have to say that I have learned to open the concept of what homes mean to me. America, I consider America my second home. I love Spain. I love Madrid. Was a very important part of my life. I learned a lot, and I think because of what I learned there, I was able to enjoy my new era here, the new phase of my life here. And what I learned, like I try to get from every culture the positive. There is going to be positive in every culture, and that's what I try to do sometimes with my Afro vines. People ask me, is that something ethnic? Is that something on you? Like sometimes we wear these turbans. I try to recreate them with the turbans. I have some designs where they are, you know, I try to portray them with turbans. I do the the designs, the turban with the corks. And I don't paint the corks. I would like to say that I like working with the cork because I don't know anything about painting colors, texture, you know. So I try to use the cork as it is, natural as they are. There are some corks that are really red because they come from red wine that are really tint,
Mm-hmm.
and I like that. There are some corks that they are coming from. They have some kind of rosé uh, color on them, and they're working with that. And sometimes I just turn the cork upside down and they have like this white face, and I like working with that contrast. So I try not to paint the cork when I do my biggest designs. And many cork artists, you will see that they can try to do the same. They like showing the cork as it is in that beautiful color that they get. So I think I bring a lot of my culture to my work at work. The sensuality of the Caribbean woman, you know, I try to provide that, you know, like I have one of my most popular design is called Spring, and it's the smallest version of this one with yellow flowers.
Mm-hmm.
And it's that in the Caribbean, we like these vibrant colors. We like adorning our hair with a flower, with a turban. We have a really big smile. You know, that's our identity. It's like, especially in Havana, where I come from, we have the big smile at all times. And that's what I like bringing. I like also dedicating part of my work to part of my roots. I am African descendant, but at the same time, I am biracial. I am Spanish descendant as well. Uh, my mom's side, her family, part of her family was from Spain, and my father's side, they were from Congo, and you know, and I like to dedicate my pieces to some of the African orishas, to the African goddess. So they
Mm-hmm.
were like these big flowers that we represent sensuality through the flowers. So I like bringing that also to my work as well.
Wow, that's so cool. Man, there's a couple of places I want to go from what you just said. First of all, I'm stuck on the flower thing because every time I go to like one of the Hawaiian islands, they also the flower is very prominent. So it's interesting the similarities between islands and culture, and it's like we have a lot more in common, I think, than not. Than what a lot of times we focus on the differences, but there's a lot of
Yep,
similar things.
yep.
Okay, this is where I want to go because you mentioned this in your bio about identity, and then you just spoke on it right now. So I guess I want to talk to you about you know how did you gain or get or be firm in your sense of identity? Where did that come from, and how necessary has it been for you to move into this creative space?
Well, as I said before, I think I have a very strong uh, Cuban identity is where I recognize on me. I am the citizen of the world. I carry three passports, but I always said to my husband, I will always be Cuban. Don't forget about that. I will always feel like a Cuban. I can adapt to your culture, but I'm going to be Cuban. And I think that is, Melissa, I think like when you come from very humble situations, the only thing that you can get in those kind of environments is identity. When you grew up with so many limitations, material limitations, then
Mm-hmm.
you are forced by your values, the values of your culture, the values of your family, the values of your community, and that's what make you uh, the person that you're going to be in the future, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
you have to overcome so many things, and this is the only thing that you carry with proud, and it's yours, and no one's going to take you out of you. You know what I mean? So, and for example, something that when I went to Spain, we were a Spanish colony. We were one of the last one with Puerto Rico and Filipinas, and one Cuba was the last colony that Spain had. And to me, it was kind of shocking there was a miss. There was no connection between them and the, how can I say, the black culture. There was no connection. It's like they didn't know, or they did not acknowledge how much the black culture that they brought to America uh, give to the development of the empire, of the Spanish Empire. And to me, it was like, how don't you know this that happened there? That lack of connection was pretty shocking for me. And
Mhm.
as I say, even though my mom tried to also give me all of this Spanish influence, because she got it, hey, she always grew up with that proud. Like, my grandfather was from Basque, he was Basque from the Basque country, the north of Spain, and we carry the she carried the last name pretty proud and everything. And the other side has my father family telling me we are Congo and Caravali. In Tacunte, you have the famous character here. There is a movie based on that. He came from Caravali, and I carry that with me. That's what I think. That's what I always carry. I'm able to receive new cultures and embrace new learnings and embrace new culture, but I define myself as this is what I am. I said, people always, I am first going to be Cuban, and then later I'm going to be Spanish, and then later I'm going to be America, but I'm going to be always Cuban. And I like learning, for example, to me, it also was pretty interesting learning more about the African American community here in the United States. Uh,
Mhm.
I follow many of them. Um, they are my main market. So I need to learn to speak those languages. I have been able to learn to identify with their problems as well, because I'm also part of that community. You know, it's kind of, you feel swimming in different waters when you are, I'm Latina, yes, I'm also black. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
where do I go? I say, oh, I have a lot to do with this culture. I identify, we speak the same language there. But then, hey, I also have from this one. So you feel like it's a treasure for you to be able to absorb from so many different sources. You know what I mean? And that's why I'm
Mhm.
I'm happy. I embrace all of that diversity, all in one. Like, hey, I am being able to say I can masquerade easily in any culture. If I don't open my mouth, I can masquerade easily. You know what I mean? So, and I enjoy that. I hope I answered your question.
That was a great answer. You know what? And in your answering, I mean, you just took me way back to when I was, childhood, when I was growing up. Because, well, I grew up in America, but, race and culture, it was so in your face. Like when I was growing up, it's like I was always questioned about what I was, who I was. And when you're young and you're so impressionable, that was hard. That was some hard stuff. It's like, cuz your parents are ingraining in you like what you are, but then you actually have to find a way to like really show up and live that, but you're still so young. I don't know if I'm even articulating myself, but then you kind of grow into a confidence of, no, this is who I am, and you can either accept it or not. I'm not going to change who I am to
Mhm.
make you feel better. Like, I am what I am. But it took a while to get to that place because it was tough.
I know it's funny. Like, for example, one of my anecdotes, when I went to Spain, they make sounds that we don't make in the Latin American Spanish. They do the, we don't do that.
Mm,
For us, it's going to be. So for them, and they don't associate. Some people, of course, they know about Black Cubans, but no many of them. And I got this question a lot. Where are you from? I'm from Cuba. Oh, but your Spanish is so good. I'm from Cuba. Like, give me a second. Like, maybe they thought that I were from Africa or something like that. I don't know. And then like, but your Spanish is so good. And it's funny because we have like a more liquid, especially in the Caribbean. We have like this liquid R that we don't tend to pronounce the R totally.
mhm,
And sometimes you get like they get like that weird thing. What are you saying there? I don't understand. It's kind of the R between the British and the Americans. So when I came back to my island, I felt a little bit rejected sometimes because I have to learn to do another R. You know? And now, and now I was in my own island and like, what are you talking like that? You're no one of us. Leave that behind. Like, oh my God, you know. So you feel yourself all the time like yes, people are pushing you like no, you're knowing that you don't belong here, and you have to be like yes, I am. Accept me the way I am. And they even my Cuban friends sometimes they tell me, you don't speak like a Cuban. You don't speak like a Cuban. I had to tell them because I live a period there. I have to articulate in a Spanish way. I also was a teacher. I have to teach my student the proper way of pronouncing. But then you find that like hey, or I feel like for example, the American Afro culture maybe is more flamboyant in the way they dress, right? That's me. That's my the way I see. I don't feel that that part goes with me. I feel like there is another part that goes with me, but not because I don't dress like that. I can be here with you. I have the right also to be here with you. I'm being because I'm also black. You know what I mean? So I'm black, yes, I speak Spanish. I even speak Italian. People look at me like, excuse me, say yes. I even speak Italian. I know that's not a black language, but I'm black. I dance like a black. You know, when I have to shout, I shout like a black. I belong here. Let me be here. You know, so and that's I understand what you're saying, and that's like you have to be strong yourself, and then to be there and saying, hey, I'm here. I'm part of this. And as I say, with my artwork, majority is my buyers, majority is my public, majority this art talks to. There are black people, but I also go to galleries where sometimes the only black artist is me. But it's important for them that there are people that is painting about other things, other communities. You know what I mean? I'm not going to limit my art just to one community. It's important for me the way that I can learn from them. I think that I am bringing with me something to put on their tables as well. Like, hey, we're here, we are offering this because we black people we know already how beautiful we are. We embrace our hair in so many beautiful ways. And this has to be known in other places where they sometimes when they ask me, can I touch your hair? And they ask me like that with, can I touch your hair? I want you to see it's similar to this. Like you see here is how we see ourselves with all of this beauty, all of these curls, all of these round shapes. I want you to see. So sometimes I think like we have to open into other areas, get out of our own communities to show because they don't come to us, but we want to talk to them and we want to let them know like this is how I see myself, all of this beauty on me, in my community, on my race, and then you need to go there. That's how I see it.
So good. So good. Okay, now I know that you dealt with your mom's passing. This is part of how you dealt with it. You said it was healing for you.
Yeah.
Was there any other point in your life or journey where you had some sort of major thing happen that you had to get through?
Oh, girl.
And
Oh, girl.
did you use art to get through it, or did you use, or was there something else that helped you kind of make it through?
You know, I think people out there are the one that help me every day. As I said before, I to me this was just like a hobby. Let's start, and one day I just locked in my room. I have a guest room that now is my studio, and then I was putting all this cord together and let me see this and let me see that. I was beautiful therapy. But then when I realized that my friends told me if you have to be out there. If you need to show, you need to be out there in social media. I didn't know how Instagram worked. I didn't know the difference between a reel, a post, a story. So once I jump into that, I spent so much time learning that. I also had to spend more time doing a research because now you want to bring quality, right? I felt myself that I was spending majority of my time in other things that was not what I was doing. So at one point when you want to throw everything and say, oh, this is not what I want to do. I just want to relax. I just want, to heal. Like
Mhm.
the market is telling you, and you have other artists that you met in the previous market, and they are telling you, hey, there's going to be a market next month, and they would like you to be there, and they are pushing you because they believe in what you're doing, and I have to start producing now very fast. Doesn't become healing, it doesn't become therapy, it becomes like you are back again in that wheel.
Mhm.
And sometimes you want to give up. Oh, and also you're going to a market and you're going ready and you say, I'm going to sell 5, and you sell 1, or you don't sell any.
Mhm.
And you say, what's going on? you know,
Yeah.
what's going on? And then
What's going on?
what's going on? There are people out there. I have this beautiful story, like this lady from Oklahoma. She's she's following me in my Instagram. And then one day she wrote me and she said, like, I want to know how do you get your corks? And I'm like, why she wants to know that? Suspicious, right? No, oh, okay. And I give this kind of general idea. I don't want her to know this and that. I don't know, it's suspicious. And she said, no, because I have these corks, and like she showed me like she has this Chinese jar full of corks that she collect corks, and she also has a bag and this and that. And I would like to send them to you. And I'm like, oh my God, but I was like, in my book, that is no budget for that expense because it's from Oklahoma to California. And then I said, oh, that would be really nice. I try to, not to hurt her feelings. I don't want to say no. And then she said, I will pay for the shipping. And to me, that was, like a wow. She, every day, whatever I post, she's there. Sorry, liking. Now we have become really good friends, and she's always encouraging me. Doesn't matter if you're going to sell or not. I want for the emerging artists out there. Art is challenge. It's a challenge. You need to have this kind of communication, this language to understand art. But the acceptance of people appreciating my art, the acceptance of people having that wow, I haven't seen this before, or this is unique. Sometimes I have sold the pieces I never saw I will sell, you know,
Mhm.
or like, oh, this is not the one that I like the most. In fact, this one has this, the error that is in your artwork, but people, they are not looking at the error because they don't know that. There
Mhm.
is something in that piece that is talking to them. So the thing those expectations about I'm going to be the next Van Gogh, we all carry that with us. It's going to be me. The next one is going to be me. This Cuban from the Caribbean. You know, and then no, girl, it's not like that. Take it slowly, slowly. Listen to the market. Be yourself, but have that communication. And then one thing that I have learned to incorporate now in this journey is patience. Take your time. Take your time. Talk to yourself. See yourself. Where do you want to go? They're going to, people will come to you with so many ideas about your art. They can do it. Tell them that would be nice. This is what I want to do. I know that I can do this and this and this and this, because you can get distracted. And people, they do it in a very positive and encouraging way. They say you can do this or you can do that, you can do this. Yes, I know that all of those possibilities out there. My mission so far is this one, because I feel that I haven't mastered this one. I want to.
Mhm.
So you have to be strong in that, and you will see you're
Mhm.
going to be moved when someone tell you you need to do these small pieces for the shows, and then you say like, but I don't want to do the small pieces, I want to do this one. Okay, you have to know if you're going to do this one, then you have to focus in which market is going to be able for this one. Is this one a good one for that small market you're going to go to? So you need to be open to listening to what they have to tell you, and you need to be open to listening to yourself. and don't get upset with yourself if yourself sometimes find doing other things that is not what it's meant to be. It's a way also to learn. But as I
Mhm.
say, those one that move me is my people, people out there. It's like it's incredible the support that they give you. By the way, I'm going to be now in the Temecula Museum. I don't know if you had the question, but I would like to say in January, I just submitted my art, and then I got accepted, and really, you have to be. I'm not. I want to say no, thank you. And by the way, that happens to me. I have sometimes some design. I take a quick picture, but they are not finished. I send it to a potential buyer, and he told me, I want that. What's a core mirror? And I get home, the person, I said, I need 50% deposit. I said, no, I'm going to pay you everything at once.
Mhm.
And I came home and I told my husband, I can deal with this. I'm going to send the money back. My
Oh.
husband was, no way. You are going with it. But I don't know how to do this. I just took a picture. I am supposed to paint the wood. I don't know how to stain the wood. I don't know anything about that. I know how to glue corks. And he was like, short story. I just contacted the person weeks later and I told him, sorry, this is taking longer than what I thought. It's by this date. I don't have it ready. I will send the money back to you. And the person get back to me and told me, I want the mirror. Like that. Well, now I have done after that, I have done my second mirror and now in my third mirror. And I appreciate that person so much. He was a business professor from the college here at Mount San Jacinto. And he told me, I was just treating you like one of my students because I noticed that you were in your comfort zone. You could do it. And I was like, oh my God. And I appreciate him being so pushy like that. So that's why I encourage anyone. Sometimes I do, you don't, and he didn't have a price for that. I asked him, how much would you pay for that? Because I was not sure about that. So, and it's all about enjoying the journey, enjoying the journey. And my message to the artists out there, those ones that are emerging, those ones that have been longer, we are tools. We are tools. There is some force speaking through us, and we have to make sure we have to serve that person because if we have been chosen to be that channel of communication, who we are to say no. There is someone sending a message through us. That's how I see it. Someone is sending a message through us, and we have to be grateful of that we have been chosen, you know and enjoy the journey because there are going to be someone crazy that person that just saw a picture or another lady in north of the country, Wisconsin. Her friend came to look something at my house, and I told her, "Look what I'm doing." And she told me, "I have a friend that she would like your art." And then she just saw a picture, but this is a three-dimensional art. So I asked her, "Hey, I noticed that your friend didn't see this other side, so I need to know." And the person told me, she says that you're the artist. Do it how you want to do it. Like I feel with all of that responsibility, you know what I mean? Like you are the artist, so if someone is talking through you, just pass the message, let it be, and it's like that.
Oh, wow. I'm feeling so full having listened to the last few stories that you told. They're literally amazing. They're so divine. The fact that you have had numerous instances where someone has come along to keep pushing you forward in that creative direction. Like, I love that. I love that. I mean, the divine moments are ones that they're just mind blowing. They're things you never forget. And they're part of helping us enjoy the journey because
Yeah,
they're usually like catch us by surprise, so unexpected. Thank you for sharing all that.
thank you, thank you.
Oh my gosh.
It's a pleasure because you don't know. I said "Yes, there are some crazy people out there. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Some crazy good, some. good crazy people out there. That's how we call it. Like, oh my goodness. Or sometimes happens to me, Melissa, for example, when they ask me, where do you get your cork from? I live in Temecula, 50 plus wineries. 90% of my corks come from people donation. They see me in the
That's
market,
awesome.
see
Mm-hmm.
me in the market, in the pop-up markets, pop-up events. Oh, I have a bag full of corks. But when we are talking bags, it's bags, the big ones. I
Whoa.
was meant to do that. I had meant to do something with them. I want to give them to you. Okay, thank you. A friend of mine, she moved to San Diego. Hey, there was someone that was giving away corks. I have a box of corks, but it was a big box of corks. So I have now a closet full of corks. I post here and people like, hey, I'm going to be in Northern California. I am from Ohio, but I'm going to visit California. But oh, okay, sorry, I live in Southern California. I can send them to you when you have those kind of things. So like that woman that sent me the corks from Oklahoma, I told her,
Mhm.
okay, my next piece that I do with your corks, I'm going to name that piece the name of your city, because to me that is such a big appreciation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There are people there that are looking at you, and you never know. They're going to be there. They are looking at you. They are going to follow your path, and they are going to be testing you. So don't get disappointed. Do what you have to
Mhm.
do. But believe, even if you do just one piece, one little piece, that's yours, belongs to you. You did it, no one else.
Mhm.
You know?
Mhm. You know what, Isabel? I could talk to you all night long. Let me
Oh,
just say that, okay? I really enjoy our conversation. Like we're gonna have to wrap up. It's like almost been an hour, I think.
my God, time flies.
So you know, we will have to do this again, and
My pleasure.
possibly the next time we can do it in person when we have our next conversation.
That would be nice.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be
But
nice.
I want you to, before we get ready to wrap this up, I want you to be sure to tell everyone the details about the next exhibit, where they can follow you or find you if they want to connect with you. So, yeah, go ahead and tell us all of that stuff now.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Melissa. So, as I said before, I'm going to be exhibiting from January 12th to the end of March at the Temecula Valley Museum. I'm going to have some of my pieces there. It's kind of a solo exhibition. You can also see my artwork through my Instagram account that is called Cork Divine. And I have an Etsy store as well. It's called Cork Divine CA. I'm working on my website. At the moment, I have some works in North Coastal Art Gallery in Carlsbad. I'm going to be also exhibiting in January, February at the Oceanside Partnership Arts Center. I'm going to be there with Luna. It's this one here, if you mind. This kind of this piece.
Yes.
This is Luna.
Hmm.
Uh, yes, this is. I plan on targeting other art galleries and nearby local art events and pop-up markets. I always announce them on my Instagram account. But yes, and also take custom orders, and I can be reachable through my Instagram account. That is one more time for Divine. Um, yeah, any question that they have, I'm here.
Okay. Okay. Y'all heard that. So it's Cork Divine. And of course, if you're, watching this or reading this anywhere, we will put information below in the caption. And you know what? I'm going to have to look at the calendar because I'm going to plan to make it to your Temecula showing if you're going to be there from January to March. Maybe we can bring a couple of young artists to come see. I don't know, but I'll look at the
Mhm.
calendar and we'll see. It'd be great to come see that and support you.
That would be fantastic. Thank you so much.
So I want to thank you again for coming on. I will go ahead and get ready to close this up. But let me tell you guys once again, You have been listening to For the Artist, a podcast that is brought to you by Creative M Projects. I am your host, Melissa Sharee, and we have been talking to Isabel Lemus. She's a visual artist, an amazing woman, and she does Cork Divine. So you definitely need to check her out and follow her. So
Thank you so
until
much.
next week, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead as well.
I want to say thank you so much, Melissa, for this opportunity.
Oh, thank you.
Hasta luego.
All right. You guys, until next week, I want you to keep creating and peace.